do your best to kind of ignore the outside noise and just get to work. And I think, that's where the confidence is built. It's through the work and just going out there and competing together, coming close together.
I think that's the mentality everybody has to have is, whether you're a proven guy or a rookie, you got to be able to have confidence in yourself. Because, it starts with you. You got to be able to believe in yourself before the coaches and your teammates will. But also, never having that mindset of being complacent or thinking you made it.
Dan, what have you seen from Jordan Love that gives you a lot of hope heading into the season?
Well, everybody with him. That was really the difference last year. Jordan grew a lot, no question, but they became an offense that was very difficult to match up against because you saw the development of Christian Watson when he was healthy. You saw development of Reed when he got a little bit more comfortable. Musgrave and Kraft at the tight end positions, and then Romeo Doubs. And so you saw this group that was maybe not this household name stars, but they had 5 or 6 guys that were very difficult to match up against defensively, especially if you tried to play man coverage. So teams started to play a little bit more zone coverage. And then what happened was Jordan Love absolutely destroyed zone coverage on the back end of the season because they saw so much of it, because everybody around them started to develop as a viable threat. And I think we're going to continue to see that for the Green Bay Packers offense in 2024.
Yeah, what a transformation. You see it as the numbers bear out. Dan pointing that out. Boog, along those lines, what do you think the game plan needs to be specifically this season with Love when it comes to run versus pass?
Well, I think they're going to run the football. There's no doubt about that with Jacobs. You don't go out and get a guy like that and not run the football. But make no mistake about it. This is a passing league. And even though they're going to run the football and give him his fair share, this is going to be on Jordan Love. And I think you want to see the next step from Jordan Love. Dan, I'd love to hear your opinion on this. To me, you're right. The second half of last season, Jordan Love took his game to the next level. So now what's next for him? I think the next thing for him is, regardless whether it's man, zone, regardless of the coverage, in crunch time, can we win because of you, not because of the system? Can you go above the X's and O's and start to make plays and win because of your performance? That's what the great ones do. That's what Mahomes does. That's what Josh Allen does. I want to see him take that next step.
Here's the thing with that, Boog, is in this system, which is the Kyle Shanahan system, I often say quarterbacks that are the best at it, let the system be the star. So if you're Jordan Love, you got to continue to let Matt LaFleur and the play calling in the system be the star, and then in moments certainly have those big-time performances. But if he makes it about me and my growth and my development, that's when I think he can get himself into trouble this year.
That's exactly what I mean. Play the system, but at certain moments, in those moments, you got to be able to make big-time plays. Sorry about that, Graz.
No, it's all good. I think it goes back to what Dano was talking about at the beginning of this conversation, which is what that young Packers offense went through together last year, that young group around Jordan Love. And I was working on a story that's up on ESPN.com right now, if anybody wants to go read it after the show, about roster building. And I talked to Brian Gutekunst, the GM, and he talked about that group last year. And he said that the confidence the coaching staff had in them to play them as young guys, he said everything they went through, the difficult times last year, they were going through it together. So when they came out on the other side, they had all this shared scar tissue to build on. So I think they'll continue to build on that. They believe in Jordan Love. I think the Packers believe in him and will show that with a contract extension at some point before the season starts. They bring in Josh Jacobs, the running back, who's had a little bit of a hamstring thing this offseason, but they don't seem too worried about that. Younger at running back than Aaron Jones, and they feel like they're on the ascent.
So I completely agree with Orlovsky and what he was saying, and not so much with what Booger was saying. And I know he kind of like changed what he was saying last minute. I'm trying to find the there it is. Oh, it's a little hard to see. Where this whole idea that Jordan Love has to like really prove that he can go out and win the games and this, that, and the third. And I think for him to continue to grow as an NFL quarterback and an elite NFL quarterback is actually just to continue to bring his floor up, right? And to become just more and more consistent. We all know what he was able to achieve in the second half of the season. And in the first half, people were ready to bury him. But if that, let's just say that it really was all his fault as to why he was struggling and the Packers were struggling earlier on in the season, which I don't even fully necessarily agree with. But let's just say that that's true. Isn't it remarkable that he still was then second in the NFL with passing touchdowns and seventh in passing yards? Like, that's pretty remarkable considering people are saying that he only got things going in the second half of the season. That's remarkable. Imagine now if he had a full season where he was playing like the second half. I mean, like, my God, it's kind of hard to even like think about what those numbers would be. So to me, Jordan Love has proved his ceiling, whatever that may be. It's just clearly super high, right? We don't technically know the ceiling of any of these actual players. We don't even know the ceiling of Patrick Mahomes, right? Is he going to win 5 Super Bowls? Is he going to win 10 Super Bowls? Is he going to throw for 1 billion touchdowns or 500 million touchdowns? You don't know. So you never actually know the ceiling. But what they show us is what they're capable of, what the potential is. You again, like we said, you didn't even really know what the potential or what the ceiling was for Tom Brady until he won another Super Bowl with Tampa Bay, right? Until he finally retired. You just truly don't know what the ceiling is. As much as we always try to talk about that, especially the media, they're always like, I think so-and-so's ceiling is this. And it's like, no one actually knows what the ceiling is. So to me, it's always like, what's possible and what's the potential. And in that regard, Jordan Love has shown us what's possible and what's potential, and what his potential is. We've seen him absolutely erupt in games. And of course, the best example of this, and until he usurps this, is the Dallas Cowboys game, right? And I don't want to say that that's the only reason why we know he's great. He's proven to be great outside of just one game, but that, of course, was the biggest game of his career, and he passed with flying colors. So to me, the way how he grows is not what Booger was saying. It is by actually continuing to be a great leader, to have a small ego, to play in the system, to allow the system to work, get rid of any noise that people say, oh, it's only the system, or it's only LaFleur, it's only the players around, whatever. Even though I don't think that noise is as loud as it is for, say, Brock Purdy and Shanahan, or even Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. But it's still technically there. It still technically exists. And especially when you're a young quarterback, right? Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, all these players have always said this, where it's like they want to be the reason why they win. And I understand that. But when you're a great quarterback, and this is what Patrick Mahomes has shown, he's shown that he doesn't need to necessarily be the center of attention, that he doesn't need to throw for 3-4 touchdowns a game, that he doesn't need to do all that, and they can still win. And that is credit to both him and understanding that and accepting that, and of course Andy Reid's brilliance. And that's what you have with Matt LaFleur and the Packers. Now, that the one question mark is where will Jordan Love continue to grow? And as you guys all know, I'm a huge Jordan Love fan. Think he's great. Think the Packers will be great. And I think that that division is going to be an absolute gauntlet, and it's just so exciting to watch for years to come. The Packers are one of my top teams that I think that have true Super Bowl potential. But again, it is a question mark as to where Jordan Love will go with that regard. Will he try to play beyond the system? I don't think he will. I think he is a smart, humble person and understands how it works. I think when he tried to go beyond this system, that's what happened at the end of the game against the 49ers. He tried to do too much in that moment when he needed not to. He didn't let the game come to him, which is totally understandable, right? Like, he's essentially a rookie in that moment. And that was, like, again, a very big, stressful moment that all players make mistakes in. So that's not unique to Jordan Love. But I have confidence that he will learn from that, and especially that's where it pays to have a great team around him, a great connected team around him to help him understand that circumstance, and a great coaching staff, of course. So he has all of that. It's all there for him to continue to grow and improve and become the exact player that not only he needs to become in order to have the successful career, but also for the Packers to be successful, because those aren't always the same thing, right? Sometimes what's best for a quarterback is not always what's best for the team, for the individual. So, and I think with the Packers and Jordan Love, it is. What's good for Jordan Love is what's good for the Packers. And I just think that this is one of those situations where that's where you're going to have that success. And I just think that the Packers have the quarterback in Jordan Love to be able to do that, and I think they know that. That's why they want to extend him. They don't have any question marks around him. They're not going into the season saying, hey, we still have some questions around Jordan Love, which is interesting because you have the Dallas Cowboys who are like, well, we still have some questions about Dak Prescott. And it's like, bro, it's been like a decade. How do you not know who Dak Prescott is by now? That's a bad sign. So I just think that the Packers are doing the right thing, and I'm really excited to see how Jordan Love evolves. Hopefully he kind of shuts out some of this noise that he has to like prove to people that he can win, be the reason why they win, like Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes. And again, if anything, the best way for him to grow is to just become a little bit more consistent. elevate his floor and continue to do what the team needs him to do, what Matt LaFleur asks him to do. That is how you prove to be a winning quarterback, because that is exactly what Tom Brady did and Patrick Mahomes, the two gold standards for quarterbacks currently. So if that's what works for them, well, then that's what's going to work for Jordan Love. So I'm really excited to see how this all unfolds, and I really can't wait. But what do you guys all think? What do you think Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers need to do in order to kind of take that next step and really become a true Super Bowl contender? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of, and I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.